Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to some more Desertopolis. Today, or between episodes, I didn't do a lot, I did a little bit, so let's just take a look here. We are up to 10, 10, 10 on our vanilla chickens and the silicon chicken as well. So as before, I had given that one blaze chicken 7 seeds, and it was a 1-1-1 chicken, and I got 7 blaze rods out of it. I put the vanilla chicken on there with 7 seeds, and I ended up getting 21 eggs. I used 1 egg to make this item here, which we'll talk about in a second. And similarly, I took my my best silicon chicken there, gave him 7 seeds, and it gave me 21 out of there. So going from like a 1-1-1 chicken, we triple our returns on um, getting the items out of them there. So just for my testing sake, I did that there. So I'm going to give this silicon chicken another stack of wheat seeds, and that should get us 3 stacks of silicon, which should be enough for now. If I need more, we'll get more later, but I'm not too worried about it. There is a real cost to operating the chickens and getting the resource from them, and that's these seeds. And we can't automate them just yet, but maybe we'll look at doing that a little bit further down the road. So I did get this item, which is the chicken basher. The recipe on this is why I needed to get the eggs. So I just put the vanilla chicken on the nest, on the stasis chamber, and eventually got the eggs there once it started laying. A feather and a stick. Feathers I got from whenever I upgraded one of my chickens there. I was just taking them over here. I was trying to be humane with it, right? I was just dropping the chicken up against the wall there so that maybe they could live out their lives down in the pit there. But as it turns out in this pack, the chickens, when they fall, they take fall damage. So it wasn't for a while that I kind of looked down there and realized that there was that they were dying when they went down there. So I went down there and grabbed a little bit of raw chicken and some feathers. So I had those from that. That's where I got the feathers from. I thought I was humanely dispatching of my chickens, getting them out of my hair, but unfortunately I was not being humane with them. But that's fine. What the chicken basher does is when we use it, when we right click on a chicken in the wild, it will turn it into this item form, which is going to be a much handier way for not only collecting the chickens, but also for, it's a right click, not a left click. Don't left click, you'll actually bash the chicken. You want to right click with them to get them to the item form. So got that old blaze chicken, that old silicon chicken, and now I've got a good number of 10 10 10 vanilla chickens, which will explain what we're doing with them probably at the end of the episode here. So I also went ahead and made the liquid compressor. So this compressor, instead of burning solid fuels like coal, I think we mentioned this in the last episode, it burns liquid fuels. This is the list of the liquid fuels, and we do have the fluid generator there, but it only works on 3 different fluids, as I pointed out there: lava, water, and crude oil. So I set this up for crude oil because we get more, like we get 5 times the pressure per millibucket of fluid, right? Just with this setup the way it is, we have we are gaining we are gaining oil in there, so I'm not burning the oil as fast as I'm producing it. And this is with no speed upgrades installed, so we can get speed upgrades to generate generate pressure faster, and obviously that will burn more fuel. And then we can also speed up the fluid generators with blocks on top of the liquid. I haven't done that yet. It's the same with the item generators. We can speed them up with blocks on top. I have not bothered with it because we're still pretty early and I'm getting started on all of this automation a little bit early. So we'll see how it turns out. Maybe we'll have to step up the production a little bit later, but I'm not too worried about it just yet. So with this, slowly with this one non-speeded, non-upgraded compressor there is burning through I put a stack of iron in there to get another stack of compressed iron, so it looks like I'm almost halfway through that. I was hoping maybe some of my ramblings while filming the episode we can get finished that by the time we need it, but probably not, and I might have to push something back or at least put it on an extended pause while this finishes doing its thing. I could always break it and go in there and stop the craft, but I'm not too worried about it. We can keep going there. I've got another area here where I might set up another pressure chamber. Not 100% sure I need to do it yet, but just planning's sake, I've got, the space marked out for it here. And then, of course, I gained enough to get an extra bucket of oil, so I've got that oil sitting here waiting to go into the next liquid compressor that we set up over there. So I did, in between episodes, go back and backtrack to get all of those quests that I missed, so that these are all complete now, all the way through to what we did. And so today we're going to be talking about the refinery, the scorching block, and then probably have to put it on a pause because I do need the pressure chamber to make these guys here. Maybe we could also just make the second chamber, and that might even be faster than waiting for this. We'll find out. Let's get through these quests, explain what's going on with the refinery, and then we'll take it from there, shall we? So, we need a refinery controller, and this is reinforced stone slabs, which is just, to just take your reinforced stone and craft it into slabs. We'll need a small fluid tank. So this is the pneumatic craft fluid tank. These are actually better than that fluid tank we made earlier on, the basic portable tank. So first off, the first stage holds 4 times as much. And as well, this cannot act like a bucket at all, whereas this one... I thought this one could act like a bucket. Well, we're not going to worry about it. Maybe it can't. Maybe there is a config wrong in something else I was watching. So, or a different pack, different, or things work differently. So, then a couple of redstone dust, and that gets us the refinery controller. And then when we are processing oil through this refinery controller, we can get up to 4 different outputs. So we can get diesel, kerosene, gasoline, and LPG. And it'll give us, like, per 10 millibuckets of crude oil, we get 2 diesel, 3 kerosene, 3 gasoline, and 2 LPG. Just note that, the LPG and the diesel come out at the same rate, and the kerosene and the gasoline come out at the same rate. And that'll be important for some looking towards the automating of this, of processing these fluids here. So this does mean that we need 4 refinery outputs. And each refinery output, more of these reinforced stone slabs, some glass, and fluix blocks, which are just 4 fluix put together, which I've got all set to go. So there we go. Now we've got 4 refinery outputs. And then the last two things we're going to need our entropy manipulator, maybe with a little bit more, I'd love to put more charge in it, but that's going to be a pain in the butt, but I don't need it with a lot of extra, or we don't need a lot of charge for what I'm going to be doing here today. So in my other playthrough, I'll just explain what I did, but in this playthrough, we'll be doing it a little bit different, so not a huge worry, I don't think. I need 3. I think I need 3. I'm going to set this up over in this corner, I think. Alright, so I'm going to put my controller down on the bottom, and then I'm going to dig out these guys here. And we're going to put our block of iron in at the bottom. So the refinery controller, it doesn't actually take heat, or it doesn't take pressure to go to do its thing, to perform, but it does need, so it does need heat to run. And this is why we've got the, actually, we need to get the scorching block achievement anyways, but if we put down the block of iron, we learned earlier if you crouch and right click on it, you'll get compressed iron, but if you just, without crouching, right click on it, that's when you get the scorching iron block. Also note that we could also get this scorching iron block by running it through a furnace and smelting it. So there's 2 options there for actually getting the scorching iron block, and that'll come into play here in a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that we've got our 4 refinery outputs set up on there. And these are all heating up now, and it's actually pulling heat out of the scorching iron block. Eventually, this will change back to iron when these things absorb all of the heat from it. Now we do need to get some oil in there. I guess I totally forgot about getting that set up. So there's that tank that I was talking about a second ago. We'll grab this guy. We'll go get some oil for now. Buckets for just for now. We'll get 9 buckets. And we'll put this guy down here is the way I was doing it before. And I get my scorching block underneath there, and then we can start dumping all of the oil into the controller there. See, every time that changes, we just give it another flick with our entropy wand. Sorry, yes, entropy manipulator. Now, the one thing with the heat from here is these machines "13 of 24 block faces are exposed to the air, which wastes heat." So if we cover up the sides of all of these, it helps retain the heat in there better. And this has already gone down. We haven't even, gotten very much of the outputs at all out of those. Couple of things that work really well here are we can use the fluid pipes or any of the pipes and just surround them with air. That allows us to retain access to them. But even partial blocks like fences will work, which is what I'm going to do here just for now. I needed 13, didn't I? So if we look here, we've got 3 sides there, 3, 6, 9, 12. And then there's one face on here that's open. That kind of doesn't make sense, but and 1 of 24. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. Which is the other face that it's counting? Oh, the top. That's such a derp. The very top is not covered. That's the one. So it's just these refinery outputs that we need to make sure are covered up. Hey, stop right-clicking. Thank you. Don't need that to be on fire, but that'll actually hold the heat in there a lot better, and it'll actually get up to a lot higher temperature as well. There is a minimum temperature which we need to process the oil in there, but there isn't a maximum at all. So what are we going to do with all of this? Hey, we're almost done. Okay. What are we going to do with all of these outputs here, you may ask? So if we go on and we look at the uses for the LPG, so we can sell it with the Amadron tablet, and we can get relic scraps out of it. We've got so many at this point, I don't really need to do that. But if we put it into the fluid mixture and we mix LPG and diesel, that will produce 2 coal per 50 millibuckets. So that'll give us 20 coal for each bucket of LPG and diesel that we put in. And then remember that the diesel and LPG were produced in the same amount from each of them. So these should always be equal, so we don't have to worry. And then this is a similar thing with the kerosene and the gasoline. Those two mixed together actually in the fluid mixer will give us coal as well, but I think we get 3 coal per operation. Gasoline and kerosene gives us 3 coal per operation. This does take some pressure for the fluid mixer to work there. Now there's some other things that we can do. If we wanted to change kerosene to gasoline, we can do that in the thermo-pneumatic processing plant. But the thing that we are interested in with the LPG in the thermo-pneumatic is getting molten plastic. And we'll need that to create a couple of things in PNC here, as well as gasoline goes to And what was the other one that we need to get? Speed upgrades. I need lubricant. So lubricant is also produced in this thermopneumatic processing plant from diesel. So each bucket of diesel will give us a lubricant when combined with redstone dust. So yeah, we're over a bucket on each of those guys down there. So this is going all good and fair, but it kind of requires us to stand here and re-click on this iron block every time it changes back to iron again from the scorching iron. So there is in this pack a way to automate that. Unfortunately, we don't have anything like a mechanical user, which I've done that in the past. Another pack I played, we put lava down there to heat the refinery, but then that changed the lava into obsidian, but then we had a similar thing to the entropy manipulator, which would change the obsidian back to lava again, and we just put a user down there which would use it every, like, you know, you can set the number of ticks that you wanted, so we set it to, like, you know, a minute or so. Every minute it would tick. It would just use it, and if it happened to be obsidian at the time, it would turn it back to lava, and if it was lava, it did nothing. But in this pack, we don't have such a thing, so we're going to have to do it the long way around. We've got a block breaker and a block placer. So the recipes here are not too hard at all, just 6 stone, a couple of iron pickaxes, and a dispenser. And then the placer is even easier. The recipe there is 6 stone and 2 iron. So basically we'll set this up so that it's the block breaker. We are gonna, one of these we need to put the iron pick into, which we'll have to pay attention to and replace every so often. But then we'll have to output from the block breaker into a furnace to change it to the scorching block again, and then output that to the block placer, which will put it back down there. And maybe we could even do like 2 or 3, 4, I don't think we need that many, but multiple ones so that there's always one in the queue waiting to go there, to be placed down there, because we can also, instead of running back and forth scooping up oil out there, do the same thing as we did over here and just get a fluid generator and have it constantly feeding fluid into the refinery, which will keep the constant supply of these coming. And then you just have to set up some fluid outputs going from there into our mixer, which will then give us access to automation of coal. So this guy should be all done. Yeah, all done now. So we're on to making these turbine blades, the rotor, and then the fluid mixer, which is just the rotor, plus 3 more of these fluid tanks, a couple of reinforced brick walls, and a pressure tube. So I'm going to put in the ingredients we need to do the rotor recipes there. And I will need 1 compressed iron there. Going to need 12 iron bars. 3 glass and 12 more compressed iron. Can stay there. Oh, yes, I need the rotor. like this, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And I'm forgetting something. Pressure tube. I'll need some of this for now. Oh, and the walls. Almost forgot about the walls. Yes, so we need these 6 here. All right. That finishes off that chapter. Now the fluid mixer does require pressure. I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to put down a chest and a hopper just so that this, the outputs from here have someplace to go pretty quickly. There we go. You've got pressure there already. Do I have? No, I used up my second bucket some point there, so let's just get this so we can do the first couple of crafts here. So we throw those in there and we'll get, you know, coal coming in automatically there. That's why I was kind of setting up this other one over here. We'll probably move this entire setup just down here a little bit closer and have some pressure generated over here for the secondary pressure thing. And then obviously I have to set up the block breaker system as well. I guess I don't have any other way to heat that up, but that's fine. Now, we can actually get to diamonds now. The reason why we're making all of this coal is so that we can make coal blocks, and as I pointed out before, there is a pressure chamber recipe that takes 8 coal blocks to turn it into 1 diamond. And that's the start of the next stage here, made inside the pressure chamber from 8 coal blocks. Now that's a big ask for what we're putting in, but it's all going to be free resources, right? We'll be producing the oil for free through the fluid generator. We'll just have to fuel a furnace over here. Will be the only cost, I guess, to keep the blocks of scorching iron going. Oh, and that's empty, so we don't even need to do anything else there. And then yeah, just have some fluid piping to go out there. Maybe have even 2 setups for the fluid mixer, just so that we don't mix our liquids wrong, which is always a possibility, right? There we ended up with a decent amount of coal just from those 2 buckets of each of those outputs there. Then one other really important use, so we'll be making a few of these fluid mixers. And the other thing I want to get started on right away is obsidian. Because the fluid generators are pretty slow, but we can generate obsidian for free because we can generate water and lava. And you put both of those in there and it'll solidify it into a piece of obsidian for you. And the obsidian's super intensive going into the late game, so I want to get this started on as soon as possible. So I'll have a dedicated fluid mixer for making obsidian, maybe 2 of them for making the coal over here, and then we'll have that coal automatically exported to the pressure chamber here to make diamonds for us. But the other option, I guess, that we have for diamonds would be the chickens. So the diamond chicken is done through chicken breeding. Like we'll just I'll just throw some information that's on here back for you. So spawns naturally false, so you'll never find them in the world. Can breed true. Obviously, you can breed the diamond chicken with other diamond chickens to increase their stats, so on and so forth. Can breed. Conversion quantity, that's what the conv is, means if you give a vanilla chicken 250 diamonds, it will turn into a diamond chicken. So we really only would have to do 250 operations from this setup going into the pressure chamber to get a diamond chicken. And then from there, it would just cost us... Sir? Why are you not in your home? Did some sneak out through? I thought maybe the babies might start sneaking out. They never did in the past, but I guess obviously they can. Anyways, like I said before, the first 250 diamonds we could probably sink into making a diamond chicken, or we could do it the long way around. And I guess long is subjective in terms, but this one is all automatic. I don't have to do anything but the setup. Whereas with the chicken breeding, we'd actually have to, do all this manually, right? So to get a diamond chicken, we'll mate a gold chicken and a glass chicken. The glass chickens spawns naturally, right? But the gold chickens we have to make with an iron chicken and a yellow dye chicken. The yellow dye chickens come from the what's it called? Catalog. And I did the recipe for the catalog book, just taking our catalog machine and putting it with one of the books I found in the pyramid. So now that I can do this on the fly wherever I want, right? So we can just grab that, and our dollary dues. And this works just like the block form did. We put that in there. Just look around here, find the yellow chicken. It's probably yellow in color. There we go. Get a yellow chicken that way. Mix it with a iron chicken, which we've got the 2 different ways to make that. We could just feed it 250 iron, which we've got already, right? Wouldn't be hard to do it all. Or you could do some breeding to get the iron chicken, but this one's a little bit trickier because it requires a flint chicken and a white dye chicken. The white dye chicken, obviously, we just get from the catalog, but the flint chicken, although it says it spawns, we don't have these biomes, and we would have to get 250 flint, which would be a lot of chopping gravel on a chopping board. A couple of shovels worth would probably do the trick, but I wonder if the gravel chicken is available in here. No, just the dye chickens. No, none of the other chickens. So we'd have to make the gravel chicken. And obviously we'd do that with one of these 10-10-10 guys so that they'd be 10-10-10 instantly. Whereas obviously if I was doing the breeding, we'd either have to breed 2 yellow dye chickens together to get them up to 10-10-10 to get a 10-10-10 gold chicken. Actually, we'd have to do the gold and the glass all the way up if we wanted that, or just get 2 gold chickens somehow and then start breeding them together to get their stats up. But obviously getting the lower tier ones aren't too important to get up there because I'll never be putting them on the stasis chambers just because the cost of getting the seeds is a little bit too high right now. We'll have to suss out the automation of getting the seeds a little bit later to see if it's viable and how many we can get, but I'd rather focus on getting more important resources with the chickens that are a little bit harder to do, rather than, you know, gold, which we can automate through strainers or so on and so forth, right? Anyways, I'm going to collect up these chickens and put them back where they're supposed to be. And I will let you all get on about your days. I appreciate everybody for checking out this video. And we will see you in the next one.